This first prompt is called Living as He Did. He was most comfortable communing with the leaves and stems of trees during the fall, not when they had just fallen. No, the soon-to-be compost was much too fresh. He was most at home with a bit more rotting of nature, of the disintegration of things, when they are falling apart from themselves. That place of the in-between, not really dead yet and have not been reborn again. There was something about the process of continuation and living it in the most minute way. This is what the leaves of autumn did for him. It's not as if he actually lived in the leaves. He visited them daily in Central Park. He came when it was the most quiet, as it was easier to concentrate on the mutation of life then. No one bothered him on those often foggy, damp mornings around 3 a.m. The occasional drunk or druggie came by, but there was something about him, his aura or presence, that always kept him from harm. He would find his way through the park to his favorite bench, which was not too cold as it was wood, and he loved its connection to the trees. In all he did, he would search out the most beautiful leaves and branches, pick them up, and it was as if you could hear him talking to them, or the tree parts calling to him. It was eerie, actually, watching this old man in his dark brown wool coat, red plaid scarf around his neck, and a typical New York wool men's hat with a sharp brim and a charcoal color. You could tell it was his favorite as he set leaves into the grosgrain black ribbon that went around the hat, just above the rim. He was starting to look like a little tree sprout himself. He languished in these piles of leaves for hours, smelling the leaves and branches, feeling every square inch of them and sending them back to the ground with a kiss. I often saw tears running down his face and wondered what that was all about. Time went on, some years later, and one day I didn't see him there, but a newly erected plaque appeared screwed into the bench he so loved, with shiny brass screws. The plaque was brass as well, the antique kind with raised letters and very heavy. It had his name and a little story explaining his comings and goings to this place. He used to be a logger out west, a successful logger, raping the hillside of gorgeous trees in Washington and Oregon. He amassed a huge amount of money, destroying nature for what he thought was good for progress. One day, when he went to work, there was a small tree struggling to stay alive amidst the rubble, and he would swear it spoke to him, making him aware that what he did to the trees, he did to himself, and it was as if he started to age overnight. His body became stiff and brittle. He could no longer work, and he realized his salvation could only come through the appreciation and preservation of trees. There and then began his quest of appreciation for all life, especially the trees. His journey to the park daily was redemption and prayers of forgiveness, not so much for the failing of his body, but for the hollow feeling in his heart, for the pain and suffering he incurred to the trees. And so his daily pilgrimage to the trees and stems in Central Park was all about forgiveness, his own, and what he didn't understand was that the trees knew their destiny and had already forgiven him. The end.